Please don't forget to subscribe, because a lot of people that watch my videos don't subscribe apparently, and hit that bell so you stay informed with the latest and greatest videos from this channel. I'm also live every day on twitch.tv/Hasanabi after 11 a.m. Pacific. Forest X, thank you for paying the gift forward that you got. Why is Putin still using Windows XP? Dude, I don't fucking know. He knows something we don't.
Military conflict in Ukraine. This would not prevent Ukraine from joining NATO. At the same time, they say NATO is a defensive alliance, and we're asked to take their word for it. In 1990, when we talked about the reunification of Germany, the United States promised the USSR that there would not be any enlargement of NATO to the east.
He's right.
The reunification of Germany, they said, will not lead to the enlargement of NATO to the west.
He's right about that. They lied.
To the east.
We lied, motherfucker. We lied a lot.
It was just an oral promise. Then we were told that enlargement of NATO to Eastern European countries will be a way of improving relationships with...
Just show the Kremlin check already. Dude, fuck Vladimir Putin, okay? You're a fucking idiot. Oh my God. Ban him. Ban everybody that says I'm a Russian operative or something. Okay? I don't like Vladimir Putin. Here, I'm just gonna put a fucking text message above my screen that says Russia bad, okay? Russia is bad, okay? I'm just gonna put that there because, like, some of you fucking dickhead brain dead... Okay, here you go. Actually, no, not Russia's bad. Vladimir Putin is bad. Okay, are you happy? I hope this will be like helpful for you. I hope this will be like understandable for you so that like it gets through your thick fucking skull, because some of you fucking idiots are like, I mean, you just behave like children. You just don't understand. It's like good guys and bad guys, good guys and bad guys, good guys and bad guys. Who's the villain of the story? Vladimir Putin's the villain of the story. He's just like Hitler. Every one of America's enemies is just like Hitler, okay? Like, Vladimir Putin is bad, motherfucker. That doesn't change the reality that, like, we are also bad. And what we are doing is actually making a bad situation worse. Okay? Shut the fuck up.
You look cute today. Go get yourself a nice
Came
treat.
to Russia. I asked him how the Americans would react to the idea of Russia joining NATO.
Yeah, he even fucking asked Russia to join NATO, and they said no.
No brain yet.
But it was moderate.
Such a welcoming and kind-hearted chat. Hope everyone here is doing well.
And then you know what happened. They supported the terrorists. On the contrary, they did not listen to our requests as far as the missile treaty was concerned. And this raises the question, why do all of this? You don't want us to be allies? Why do you want to make us your enemy? There's only one answer to this. It has nothing to do with our political regime. It's just that they do not want to have a major independent country like Russia. That's the source of U.S. policy towards Russia. This is why they have this attitude concerning security. All you have to do is to look at a map to see how America keeps...
Aren't you ignoring the Russians' actions in this situation? We are pushing it, but we aren't the ones on the verge of invading another country. Dude, Russia is doing military exercises in the exact same way that America does military exercises all around the world. It's a show of force, and it's fucking gross. But the reason why Russia is doing military exercises is because NATO's been expansionist. The Ukrainian government has quite literally fucking said, we're going to overtake Crimea again. Crimea is literally just Russian territory. Don't give a fuck if you don't consider it that way, but that's the reality. The people in Crimea feel that way. The Crimean Navy feels that way. The Crimean military bases that were Russian military bases until historically and still to this day feel that way. You can't just be
This is the source
Ukraine and be
of
like, it doesn't matter.
explanation.
My constitution decided and declared that like Crimea is actually not Russian territory, regardless of how many fucking people live in, how many Russians live there, and regardless of the fact that those people want to be back with Russia. We don't care. We're gonna fucking invade it. If you say something like that, of course he's gonna fucking flex his dick. He's not a good guy. He's a bad guy. Okay. Throw the question marks all you want. I don't give a fuck about the Ukrainian constitution. I don't give a fuck about the Ukrainian like border sovereignty that some of you dumbasses are fucking talking about like you're like a 3%er but for Ukraine, okay? It's so stupid. Crimea is not the same as Kiev, however. Crimea is not the same as the rest of Ukraine, however. Eastern Ukrainian territories have a lot of fucking Russian people living in them because Ukraine and just like Crimea and much of the rest of the fucking country was a part of Russia, was a part of the USSR until not that long ago, okay? People's parents were alive back then. So obviously, there's a lot of fucking Russian people living there. So if you have a country that now has beefed up its Western interests, which is fine, okay, without neutralization, with that is not abiding by the prior agreements that they've had. You have constant fucking separatist fighting going on, which is a proxy battle, as the lady on Democracy Now! This morning explained. A proxy battle in eastern Ukraine
so you can take the
has,
charger and stick it up
rather,
your
a
back.
civil war in eastern Ukraine has turned into a proxy battle, which has now turned into a geopolitical struggle that is international. Okay? It's fucking insane. It's insane. Because America is like pulling the fucking strings and making it a much larger a deal than it should be, because America wants a fucking weak Ukraine. That's the reality. America wants a weak Russia and America wants a weak Ukraine. It doesn't matter if Russia and Ukraine duke it out. It doesn't matter if Russia and Ukraine fuck each other in the asshole nonstop in this like Ouroboros ass fuck, because America gets to sell guns and America gets to also fucking, have a weakened foreign adversary on the other side of the world. Okay? It's great. It's great. It's great for America. That's why they're fucking beefing it up over and over again, saying Russia's going to invade tomorrow. Russia has kill lists. And some of you are too young and you don't know this. You don't know how many lies that the State Department has fucking made the media tell. But the very same motherfuckers that are like, oh my God, Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. We have to immediately invade Iraq right now, are the exact same people who are like, dude, I have sources that are saying that Vladimir Putin wants to straight up have sexual intercourse with every family member of the Ukrainian administration. Every single one of them. We have high-level sources. It's going to happen. It's going to happen after he invades, okay? And it like hasn't happened yet. And it's probably not going to happen because of the underlying material circumstances that would make war in Ukraine impossible to deal with. This would be attrition. This would fucking destroy the Russian economy. They would get ass fucked by sanctions, which are already coming regardless, okay? And you can be a fucking baboon and say this is imperialism, pro-imperialist takes again, because you are a baboon, okay? You are. I'm sorry. You are a stupid anarchist idiot who only learns politics by repeating talking points from either myself or other YouTubers that you have watched, okay? I'm sorry. You do not have the mental fortitude or the capacity to comprehend complex foreign complex foreign policy from anything beyond an American exceptionalist standpoint, where we are the civilizing force on these barbarians, okay? You are the guy who gets conscripted and gets just completely blasted in the fucking smithereens in like the 17th century. That's it. You think you're progressive. You're not fucking progressive. You literally are meddling with other countries' foreign policies. You're meddling with other countries, and then you're thinking that, oh, we're doing this in a progressive way. You're doing progressive imperialism while pointing to fucking Russia and saying they're doing imperialism, okay? Russia's annexation of Crimea is not the same as imperialism. It's not the same as colonialism. You are a fucking psycho. There has never been a circumstance in which an imperial power has decided to take over land where the fucking people living in that land are their own people, okay? And the country's entire military is like, oh yeah, this is great. Finally, we can like work with our own fucking country, and we speak the language, and it's our country, and we want to actually join. And then they also fucking correspond to numerous surveys time and time again, year over year over year, leading up to fucking the Crimean annexation, and even after the Crimean annexation, saying, no, it's good. We want to be a part of Russia. It's fucking insane. You could say that's like Russian propaganda or whatever, but like you feeling bad about the Crimean annexation does not change the reality of the Crimean annexation being a completely justifiable fucking act by the Russian government, okay? So that's it. That's fine. And Hitler invaded countries based on Germanic ties at first? Yeah, dude. Talk to me when he's fucking throwing Ukrainians in a fucking... What are you talking about? Talk to me when he's throwing Ukrainians at a concentration camp, okay? Hitler wasn't fucking bad because he decided to invade Austria. He was bad because he was fucking killing Jews, okay? That was the problem. He wasn't like, oh yeah, we're gonna fucking annex territory with like Germanic people in it. That wasn't the main problem with Hitler, I think. That was like maybe 8th down the line on the many lists of issues with Hitler. His one fucking like territorial expansion that you point to over and over again is the stupidest thing you can point to. It's like literally being like, well, dude, Hitler built the Autobahn. Yeah, he did. He did do that. He wanted to fucking continue prior projects because guess what? You know, he wanted to move tanks easily throughout Germany. That doesn't make him a socialist, though. It's so weird. It's like, oh, dude, they took over Austria, dude. They took over Austria. Like, what the fuck? It's like, okay.
9-month brain rot is
Was that the reason? Was that the problem? It's the Candace Owens take? Yeah, literally. It is the... Wait, you're saying I'm saying the Candace Owens take? No, because I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, like, Hitler had a lot of fucking problems, okay? Way before we talk about, like, Austria. Candace Owens was saying Hitler just wanted to make Germany great again. Like, you're completely avoiding all of the other shit that Hitler did that is so much worse. That because you just want to fucking make a Hitler comparison. That's it. Oh, so if Hitler just didn't do the Holocaust and just do the war against everyone and try to take over all of Europe, it would have been fine. Wait, what? What? I never said that. No, as a matter of fact, I'm saying Hitler's annexation of Austria is not even offensive in comparison to the actual problems with what Hitler did. So stop comparing Hitler's annexation of Austria to fucking Vladimir Putin's annexation of Crimea. That's the point. Why are you not hearing what I'm saying? Why is the point just escaping your brains so aggressively? Okay? It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange to try to like desperately grab on to any kind of fucking to any kind of fucking thing that you can to just be like, this is terrible. I'm not even saying Vladimir Putin is good. He's not good. He's not a good person. He's a bad person, okay? He's a bloodthirsty, crazy person, okay? But he's also, I mean, he's not crazy in the same way that like he's doing foreign policy. He's not like, oh yeah, I'm Vladimir Putin. I'm going to do nukes now. Like, it doesn't work that way, okay? I am not a Vladimir Putin apologist. Shut the fuck up. I want to fucking, oh God.
I should hear we not like this.
Vladimir Putin is bad. Vladimir Putin is bad. Vladimir Putin is bad. This doesn't change the reality of Crimea. Vladimir Putin is not bad because of Crimea. Vladimir Putin is bad for a million other things. You're literally doing the exact same thing that you did with Hitler a second ago with Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is...
Hyperpog.
Vladimir Putin is a horrible authoritarian leader, okay? May or may not have seized power with a false flag attack that killed a lot of fucking people. A false flag terror attack. Okay? There are a list of like a million different fucking things that you could point to about why he's a bad person before you even like get to Crimea. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Vladimir Putin is bad, okay? He's bad. He's bad. This is why all your viewers went to Misgive, because your political takes are garbage, Lamau. What? Are you saying Misgive's political takes are good? Like what? What a strange... What? Implication that Misgive is good at politics here? What the fuck? Anyway, it's just like, I despise, here's the problem. I fucking despise anytime I talk about foreign policy, anytime I go against the prevailing narrative that you hear on MSNBC, anytime I do that, everyone fucking loses their shit. Because ultimately, I hate to admit this, but Glenn Greenwald is kind of right. A lot of people in the American left, in the imperial core, unironically, at this point, Glenn Greenwald's kind of right, unironically are just pro-imperialist. They legitimately believe the fucking State Department propaganda hook, line, and sinker. There's a reason why Bernie Sanders agrees with me. Noam Chomsky agrees with me. Numerous other fucking thinkers on this subject that you would normally point to as like really good, really sane people agree with me, and not the fucking bread tubers that you are coming at. You're coming in here to repeat the fucking takes of. Jeremy Corbyn. Okay? We're not fucking shills of Vladimir Putin. Our worldview is directly the opposite of Vladimir Putin's worldview. He is an oligarch. He's one of the wealthiest motherfuckers on the planet. Why in the ever-loving fuck would I ever defend him? This is entirely separate. But you don't have any way of comprehending politics other than, oh, you're defending this person. You must be defending this person because you think, or you just hate America and that's why you're like running defense for Vladimir Putin. That's not the case. Okay? Putin is not a good person. He's a horrible monster. Okay? And so is America. And the reality here is the people of Ukraine are stuck between two fucking forces. And there are plenty of countries that have been able to successfully neutralize. Countries, of course, that don't have Russian speakers and Russian people living in them, that have a history of being a part of a broader fucking Russian empire, if that's what you want to call it. Certainly, like Finland. But the ultimate goal here is neutralization, to have a buffer zone that is not even, that's not directly a part of NATO, regardless of whatever the fuck the Ukrainian government's interests are. Okay? Because NATO, no matter how much you describe NATO as a defensive force, is not a defensive force. It is an offensive force. That's the whole point. They train weapons onto and have encircled Russia.
Putin said in a long pre-recorded address are recognized as being independent from Ukraine. Well, despite the large numbers of Russian troops surrounding Ukraine and its borders, Russia has continued to deny it has any plans to attack neighboring Ukraine, but has long threatened unspecified action in the absence of security guarantees from the West. Well, amongst those guarantees, a pledge that Ukraine would never join NATO. Well, earlier on in the day, the president convened his top officials in Moscow for a presidential Security Council meeting. This, of course, in the context of a spike in tensions in eastern Ukraine, which Western powers have been saying could be used by Moscow as a pretext for an attack on Ukraine. So there we can see the Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has signed those decrees recognizing Donetsk and Luhansk as being independent regions, independent of Ukraine. I'm here in the studio with Craig Koperes, who is a
this seeing Donetsk or seeing the eastern Ukrainian territories that are majority Russian as separate regions is going to cause a fuckload more problems if neutralization agreements do not happen immediately. Okay? That is a diplomatic escalation. That is a soft power escalation that will create a situation where, oh yeah, we have to fucking protect these territories. We have to protect these territories. That is a fucking step in the wrong direction. Okay? That is absolutely the case here. They aren't majority Russian. Yeah, exactly. No, it's not like Crimea. You're right. This isn't like Crimea. This is not like Crimea at all. Claiming that you have to. Here's what I'm afraid of. Crimea is entirely separate from this conversation. But when you talk about the eastern Ukrainian territories where there are big chunks of Russian people, okay? There are big chunks of Russian people. My fear is that this will be similar to Georgia. And then he'll say, oh, we need to actually defend these territories, and that's why we need to fucking bring people in. That's why we need to bring in, our forces, our military, to protect these Russian people. Okay?
Type of an
And that's not good. That's not good at all. This is an aggressive action that Vladimir Putin has taken, okay? This is different than just doing posturing, saber rattling, military exercise at the border. This actually is aggressive action, okay?
Quite a lot of what President Putin said this evening sent a chill through people in Kiev.
I go hard.
Putin is fully aware NATO will never invade Russia. All of his advisors know this as well. No one in the right mind believes NATO will attack Russia. Russia has more military on that front than NATO and 1,000 nuclear weapons. This is about regaining peace of the Russian Empire. The entire beginning of the speech was about how Ukraine should have never even been recognized as a separate republic in the first place. We'll watch the entire speech now.
The world's biggest war criminal has been talking for an hour now, basically about how my country has no right to exist. People are reacting.
How is what he just did the West's fault? I need your actual take here. The West's fault in this circumstance is letting America fuck up the conversation from the goddamn jump and not actually immediately move towards diplomatic stances and allowing like a new Minsk agreement or some form of fucking neutralization. Okay? Exactly what France and what Germany was trying to fucking do, and not what America was trying to do, which was, they're fucking crazy. They're gonna invade anytime. They're invading tomorrow, brother. Let's fucking go. They're invading, motherfucker. They're gonna kill everybody. I heard they're eating babies. The Russian army's gonna invade. Then they're gonna eat your babies in Ukraine.
Yo, I wore my
that was the fucking issue, okay? And that's precisely what the fuck has been going on for the past 2 months. I hate what Ukraine has made you become. What? Become what? This is me. This has always been me.
Goddamn 17 months, baby boy, where has the time gone?
It's crazy. It's like you come to one of the fucking like prominent anti-imperialist voices in America on the left, and you're upset that I'm like having a conversation that is you know, anti-imperialist. Like, of course. The West forced Putin to blood and soil Ukraine law. No, you fucking idiot. Also, he's not blood and soiling Ukraine. Shut the fuck up. Don't you think that if the conflict does ignite, history will remember all the posturing and saber rattling as initial aggressive actions? Your take wasn't bad, but hindsight is 2020, and while it could go either way, it's still apparent that you were not entirely correct in your earlier read of the situation. Okay, it doesn't matter what fucking history remembers. You're just admitting that like my earlier read wasn't correct because I engaged in proper analysis, which I still believe, which is Vladimir Putin rolling fucking tanks into Ukrainian territory is absolutely unfathomable. The goddamn American government literally said they're going to take all the way to Kiev. Okay? If my analysis is wrong, whose fucking analysis is right in this situation? Joe Biden literally said, we have reports that he wants to go all the way into fucking Ukraine, take the entirety of Ukraine. What the fuck are you talking about?
People happy Arjan and chat happy Monday, my loves hassle. Has mods.
You're already getting clip chimped on Twitter by other debate bro YouTube fuckheads. Dude, okay, here's the other problem, okay? Nobody fucking ultimately cares about this except for like this audience of people who are like, oh my God, you know, I have a stance on this that is unchanging. I have already admitted that if I'm wrong, if this fucking invasion does occur, then I will admit that I was wrong. It's not like the end of the fucking world, okay? But this idea that like you know, this is important when it's a hyper fucking it's literally like a microcosm of the larger conversation led by people who for the rest of the time talk about like ethical child porn or whatever the fuck and have these endless debates, and how Normans will be like looking back at this and be like, wow, Hassan was so fucking wrong, is idiotic. Okay? I keep forgetting Chad aren't leftists, but motherfuckers who just want healthcare and free college, they aren't anti-imperialists. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is American... the problem with like American leftists is that, of course, they grew up in the imperial core. It's very, very difficult for them to shake that off. It's almost more difficult for them to shake that off than shake off the fucking the notion that they have to live in a capitalist society. Also, I forgot to fucking blast off. So here's the take. I mean, here's my tweet that I tweeted out saying that I'm live and alive. So people will just move on to yelling at you for your next purchase. Yeah, exactly. Why did chatters watch these cringe ass YouTubers and then come cry about them in your chat? I don't know, dude, because they're fucking cringe, okay? That's it. The unfortunate reality is that this is a cringe community. We do talk about politics on the internet, so there's gonna be some fucking cringe motherfuckers. You are so fucking NA it hurts. The whole concept of international law isn't gonna make Crimea wrong, eh? Dude, you can't say I'm so North America and then bring up international law as though we respect international law here. It's very weird that a lot of people are repeating what you hear on MSNBC, what John Bolton believes, what, you know, like the entirety of the neocon foreign policy class believes, and then telling me that my take is the, my take is the NA one, the out of touch one.
Yo.
Okay? That's weird. Anyway. Pro-NATO leftists are liberals who are horny for internet drama? Yeah, it's so stupid.
Hassle.
Alternative take to yours, Biden's was a good statement. Either Russia invades, at which point he looks right, or they don't invade, at which point Russia was curtailed by the West. Heads, Biden wins. Tails, Russia loses. Exactly. But the point is, if Russia did not have fucking...
Wicked.
If Russia was engaging in the same exact fucking military actions that they engage in every goddamn year with no interest in actually fucking invading Ukraine, and they don't end up invading Ukraine, then Biden escalated a conflict to a position where they were actually going to fucking, where they made it seem like, Vladimir Putin is going to invade Ukraine. The entire, what needs to happen right now is neutralization. That's it. That's it. So instead of fucking constantly and consistently giving you guys my goddamn fucking takes on this, I've decided instead of talking about this shit, I just want to show you other people who I guess agree with me on this issue, because it is deeply, deeply, deeply frustrating to constantly fucking talk about this issue over and over and over again. Okay. It's just, I know that a lot of the liberal, baby leftists care more about the aesthetics than anything else. So if they hear like people that they love and respect, like fucking, I don't know, Noam Chomsky or all these other people, maybe then they will understand where I'm coming from with my like actual anti-imperialist point of view.
1 inch, but
Here.
there was quid pro quo that NATO would not move 1 inch to the east. That was the phrase that was used in the interchanges, meaning to East Germany. And on that condition, they went forward. NATO immediately moved to East Germany when Gorbachev vigorously protested, naturally.
By the way, remember, this is literally what Vladimir Putin was saying. Like he was saying this in his speech earlier. Okay? So just remember that.
he was informed by the United
I don't know where this is coming from. Oh my God, where is this fucking coming from? It's so fucking cringe. Oh, that's where it was coming from. Got it. Okay.
States that it was only a verbal commitment. It wasn't on paper. Exchanges, meaning to East Germany. And on that condition, they went forward. NATO immediately moved to East Germany. When Gorbachev vigorously protested, naturally, he was informed by the United States that it was only a verbal commitment. It wasn't on paper. The unstated implication is if you're naive enough to think you can make a gentleman's agreement with us.
Also, the other part of the reality is, even if it was like literally a written agreement that NATO would never expand, do you think that they would not find a way to violate that? Who gives a fuck? Like, who absolutely gives a fuck? Okay? Like, you can't even, people are coming in here and being like, actually, fact check, no such agreement actually ever happened. Like, okay, does that change the reality that NATO is still an expanding aggressive force, aggressively posturing against Russia? I don't understand. Like, what does your fact check mean in this situation? The Soviet Union is fucking done, and NATO is still encircling Russia. Why would I, like, what does your fact check change about that? NATO's involvement in Libya and Afghanistan. Fact check, it's actually a defensive force.
It's your problem.
We're going to watch the fucking psychotic first half of the speech as well.
They didn't say that. I'm saying that. But the NATO moved to East Germany. Under Clinton, moved right up to Russia's borders. Just a couple of weeks ago, U.S. Military equipment was taking part in a military parade in Estonia, a couple hundred yards from the Russian border. Russia's surrounded by U.S. Offensive weapons. Sometimes they're called defense, but they're all offensive weapons. And the idea that the new government in Ukraine that took over after the former government was overthrown, last December, late December, it passed a resolution overwhelmingly, I think something like 308 or something, announcing its intention to take steps to join NATO. For no Russian leader, no matter who it is, could tolerate Ukraine right at the geostrategic center of Russian concerns joining a hostile military alliance. I mean, we can imagine, for example, how the U.S. would have reacted, say, during the Cold War if the Warsaw Pact had extended to Latin America and Mexico and Canada were now planning to join the Warsaw Pact. Of course, that's academic, because the first step would have led to a violent U.S. response and wouldn't have gone any further.
This is an older video. This is like a way, way older video.
For example, how the U.S. would have reacted, say, during the Cold War if the Warsaw...
The entirety of the West Ukraine gives a fuck. Like, bro, how fucking dumb are you? Holy shit. The only reason why you just can't accept this is because you're avoiding the top of the hour break. Fuck you, dude. It's not even top of the hour yet. Okay. I've mentioned this before, but let me repeat it one more time. Okay? A reminder that the Cuban Missile Crisis was nearly identical to the circumstance where America put NATO ally Turkey, America put fucking missiles pointing at the USSR in NATO ally Turkey. Okay? They put missile bases in Turkey pointing directly at Russia. Well, not Russia, but the USSR at the time. As a retaliation to that, what is this? Change VOD title? All right, what did I change the VOD title? As a retaliation to that,
11 months of contributions to the
nukes, not just missiles. As a retaliation to that, Russia sent like old ass fucking missiles into Cuba. Okay? This caused the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is where, like, this is how it originally started, with America using NATO to flex its fucking might. America using its allies to flex its fucking might against the USSR. NATO originally was created because the USSR was an unpredictable force of evil, okay? It was an unpredictable force of evil, and what we had to do was, align every fucking nation state we can against this communist force that was spreading ideologically and also offering material help to other countries that were having their own very democratic socialist, okay, revolutions. That is precisely what that's precisely what NATO was designed to do, and that's precisely what NATO is still trying to do to this day. Even though Russia is no longer a communist country, the USSR is not a real thing. Russia is Russia has a fraction of the power that it once had. It's just a nuclear power. Okay, that's it. So for a lot of you to turn around and say, "Oh my God, NATO is so fucking pogger. It's so pogger. I love NATO. I'm a leftist, by the way." I don't know where you're coming from. Democratic Socialist USSR? No. USSR is not democratic socialist, okay? The USSR had a lot of fucking problems. They had a lot of issues. But the real reason why America and Western capitalists were against the USSR was not because of their mismanagement, okay, of grain stocks. It was not because they were, especially under Stalin, a brutal authoritarian fucking country to live in. It was because they were offering material support and spreading the ideology of communism and socialism around the world, which was a problem for, especially in third world and developing nations, which was a problem for fucking capitalist nations who wanted to seize all of that land. Okay? That was it. That was the difference. That was the reason why they were fighting against the USSR, because there was a counterbalance in the world during the fucking Cold War where a large nation state that could match up with the United States of America and even some of the fucking Western capitalist powers, they could actually fucking offer support to other countries that were like, I'm socialist. I want to do socialism. I want to nationalize my fucking extraction industries. Okay? And then that big dick fucking USSR could like send them fucking money and weapons and offer them training and help. But America did not like that. Bring someone on that can talk some sense to you. You're going full Spotify. I think a lot of you are completely oblivious to this reality. A lot of you have not been here the million different times I've had these conversations about like third world liberation and about how the United States has extracted, or how Western capitalist nations have extracted natural resources from the third world regularly. Okay. It's kind of fucking weird. And the idiots that say Hassan becoming based, because a lot of you fucking dumb, like ultra tanky motherfuckers don't realize that this is a consistent position I've held. Okay? This is a consistent position I've held since day one. Why the fuck do you think I get canceled all the goddamn time? Idiots. Okay? Just because I'm not some fucking weirdo who like denies that like North Korea is kind of a shitty fucking place to live in. Okay? It doesn't change the reality. Just because I'm not like fucking being like, ooh, Jusha, it's the best ideology. It's great. Even though it's not even fucking Marxist-Leninist. Doesn't change the reality that like, I have a different understanding of Western exploitation, Western imperialism, and capitalist exploitation and capitalist imperialism in the third world than like 90% of these fucking social democrats who are like living in the fucking imperial core. Obviously they have this take because ultimately it goes against their best interest to fucking to recognize and admit this. There's a reason why there's so many fucking people that are coming from unique backgrounds that are still in here for a very, very long time.
16 months of up the RA.
Okay. Let's continue.
The pact had extended to Latin America.
Also, people keep saying it was Ukraine's own choice to join NATO. Okay, well, it was Crimea's own choice to fucking join Russia then. Like, you can't fucking be like this region of just predominantly overwhelming majority Russian people with a fucking military that is like literally Russian, with a military that joined the Russian military, immediately after the annexation, that is time and time again fucking consistently polled on being a part of Russia, that's doing better now under Russia than it was, and then turn around and be like, oh, it was Ukraine's choice to fucking join NATO. Anyway, the real choice here is the top of the hour ad avoidance. You could say yikes all you fucking want. You can say yikes all you want. Crimea was annexed. Crimea was annexed. Yeah, it was so crazy that like no one fucking died. Shut the fuck up. And like everyone thinks they wanted to be a part of Russia. They were a part of Russia until like most of your parents were alive when they were a part of Russia. They wanted to be a part of Russia. It's always been a separate autonomous fucking region regardless. Just because you don't understand the fucking history and you keep saying yikes, yikes, yikes. My favorite YouTuber told me something different. Doesn't change the reality of what's going on in Crimea. You live in fucking Ohio, okay? You are not Crimean. You are not Ukrainian. You are not Russian. The motherfuckers that live there are literally like, no, we want this. And you're like, I do not consent. Because I defend the Ukrainian sovereignty, brother. The Ukrainian borders. Okay, blood and soil for Ukraine, brother. I'm joining the Azov battalion. I'm a 3%er. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I see a lot of things differently, especially regarding robust social safety nets.
Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue, okay?
Posting cringe in the chat. Also, NATO and Putin can.
You must show evidence that Crimea, more importantly, the Crimean. You must show evidence that Crimea, more importantly, the Crimean people, the referendum was illegitimate. No, of course the referendum was illegitimate. It happened under duress. Okay, I'm not a fucking asshole. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, there was a Crimean referendum. That doesn't matter. The referendum doesn't even matter. Do you want to know why the referendum doesn't matter? Because there have been numerous fucking polls since then by Western countries and Western NGOs that routinely want to fucking make it seem like Crimeans want liberation from Russia. And yet, for some fucking weird reason, all of those polls that Western NGOs that have very clear interests in making it seem like Crimea wants to separate from Russia keep showing the reality that Crimeans want to be a part of Russia. So you cannot consent to their fucking liberation, okay? You cannot consent as an American to their attitude. That is imperialist. Okay?
No more brain rot than normal, I think.
The real problem is Luhansk and Donetsk, okay? I'm fucking it up. That's the real issue. Crimea is not a fucking issue. Shut the fuck up. Like, Crimea is not a thing. You yourself are freaking the fuck out about all this shit for no fucking reason, okay? Stop bringing up Crimea. It doesn't even make your point look good.
Thank you.
It's the inverse of the I consent meme you made for Dark Viper AU. West NGOs, when Hassan doesn't like them, literally CIA. Western NGOs, when they support Hassan's argument, fair and accurate. Hey, you fucking idiot. My argument is Western NGOs have historically been aligned with the fucking CIA, and like civil society organizations are oftentimes utilized by Western imperialist capitalist countries and Western state departments exclusively to fucking drum up support when there's like real revolutionary action, real revolutionary spark in countries, okay? Real uncertainty, real anger, real volatility. It's oftentimes utilized. That is oftentimes utilized to create a much larger fucking movement, okay? This is something I talk about all the goddamn time. That's precisely the reason why I'm pointing out to the Western NGOs, because they have every fucking interest in making it seem you're not hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth. And this is really a problem. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, okay? They have every interest to make it seem like the fucking Crimeans don't want to stay with Russia. And yet they still consistently show that they want to. Okay? If they're fucking, fuck. Should have never put that thing. Oh my God, I just ripped off so much hair from my head. Holy fuck. If those NGOs showed,
dog people anyway.
If those NGOs actually fucking showed that Crimeans do not want to be a part of Russia, then I would be like, yeah, like clearly, of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to say that. Of course those NGOs are going to show that. Okay? Because it's in their best interest. And even then, they're not showing that. Why is it so difficult for you to comprehend this? Anyway, it doesn't matter. People born in 2004 are currently arguing with you about Ukraine. Yeah, it's true. That's literally true.
Whoa. A whole season of has.
Please ignore this drama baiting bullshit from chat with other streamers. It's all telephone game silliness. Show your integrity if you're wrong. Yeah, it's true. So like I've said time and time again, like if I'm fucking wrong, I'll admit it. I get things wrong all the fucking time. Okay? I get things wrong all the fucking time. And when I do, I admit it. Let's take a look at what the ABC News special report is saying about Ukraine now, though, because while so many people kept saying like, oh yeah, you know, Russia is going to invade Ukraine anytime now, Russia's going to invade anytime now, and that has yet to happen. This is an escalation from the Russian side. This is what happened today. What happened today is the biggest escalation from the what happened today is going to be the biggest escalation from the Russian side. Everything leading up to this is insignificant in comparison to what happened today. Okay? The recognition of Eastern Ukrainian territories that have a decent chunk of Russian people living in them, that is an escalation. Military border exercises is not. Let's see what the American analysis on the Putin speech is now.
I was struck by that idea that maybe Putin never intended to come to the negotiating table.
And it sounds like we have Ian back. Ian, I want to go back to the question that I tried to ask you before, which is this reference to Ukraine being a puppet for the U.S. and this threat for the Ukrainian government to cease military operations in those separatist areas to stop the Russian genocide, as Vladimir Putin calls it, in those areas. How much is misinformation playing into all of this, and what is the real picture of the violence on the ground?
The real misinformation is me forgetting to fucking run the top of the hour ad break and then telling you can avoid those ads if you no longer want to see those ads. All you need to do is subscribe for $5. For $5 Ukrainian dollar. I keep forgetting to run the ad. I'm running it now. Here it is.
Any attempts at some kind of diplomatic resolution to this, it looks like Putin certainly wasn't interested in that. And if you look at the narrative that's being portrayed, to the Russian public, it's that the Ukrainian military is on the offensive. I mean, we even saw the Russian military today talk about 2 Russian armored personnel carriers.
Even if you're wrong, it's the right stance to say there's almost no chance they'll invade, rather than the U.S. media saying it's happening, it's inevitable, it's going to happen tomorrow, it happened already, war, war, war. Exactly. But the problem is a lot of people personally have been invested in that narrative. So now they're not coming in here to actually hear the analysis. They're coming in here to be like, oh, I'm right. And it's really fucking gross. And it's really stupid. I oftentimes talk about how people view and contextualize the news on the internet debate space and how annoying it is, okay? How annoying it is that, like, the only way that, to be fair, you bragged about being right too. Yes, I did. And I still am. A lot of people don't fucking see this because, and I probably shouldn't have, okay? Let's be real. It's just like fucking annoying to gloat. But I changed the title to Russia has yet to invade Ukraine, day 12. It's now day 14, by the way. My editors keep forgetting to change it. But I changed the title to fuck with all those people that are like, running laps and freaking the fuck out and saying, oh, dude, you were wrong. But they still haven't fucking invaded. So I am still right. And if they do end up fucking invading, then I'll be wrong. They want you to be wrong so bad because they've been wrong every time they've believed the invasion dates and America keeps putting out. Yeah. If they don't invade, I'm right. And if they do invade, I'm still right. Wait, what do you mean? No, if they do invade, then I'm fucking wrong. My analysis was incorrect. The likelihood of Russia invading Ukraine is insane to me. It would fucking destroy Russia. It's unpopular in Russia. There are polls that have been conducted in Russia right now, okay? When Russia annexed Crimea, Vladimir Putin was celebrated for that decision. Nationalism grew in Russia. They loved it. They were like, this is a great idea. This is a great thing that you did. Thank God you did this, whatever. Those very same people are completely against Ukrainian invasion because it's so fucking stupid. It is so, it's a war of attrition that Russia will lose. Gross. I mean, they might not lose. They could overtake Crimea. I mean, not Crimea. They could overtake Ukraine inevitably, but it still doesn't change the reality that like the sanctions would ass fuck them. And on top of that, like the actual war would be incredibly fucking costly. My fear now is that they're going to say, oh, Donbass is a security risk, so we have to take it over. We have to take over the Donbass region because it's presenting a security risk for our Russian citizens that live there or our Russians that are living there. And that is, in my opinion, that's unacceptable. Okay?
Hassle.
Because that is like you're adding in additional territory, and that is expansionist. That is not fucking Crimea-like, okay? That's different.
Hello from a Kansas Democratic.
Of course, they're not going to go to fucking Kiev like the way that the American media is hyping it up, because that would be fucking silly as shit, but it doesn't matter. People saying that Russia has the capability to do certain things on certain days is being mistaken for people saying that an invasion is going to happen on that date. And then when it doesn't happen, people say another invasion prediction didn't pan out when one was never made. Capability does not equal prediction. You're telling me that America has only been saying Russia is capable of invading Ukraine? Because even then they would be incorrect. Because America is not fucking capable of, or not America, Russia is not capable of fucking invading Ukraine. You just justify Putin's plans for 2 weeks? What?
5 months of Pepe Gou.
Okay, I'm going to repeat one more time. I do not agree with what Vladimir Putin is doing and doing a repeat of Georgia, okay, in eastern Ukrainian territories. This is a separate conversation to have than Crimea, okay? What's going on in eastern Ukraine is a civil war that has turned into a proxy war as a consequence of Russian involvement that is now being used as a fucking political posturing operation internationally as a geopolitical conflict. That is what's going on there. There are Russian people that want to separate. The Russian government is helping them, okay? Because they want to expand on that territory. There's like mines there. It's big. There's some industry there, factories there. That's the reason why Russia is interested in expanding into it. Okay. But ultimately, the greatest thing would, in this situation, the greatest thing that would shut down all these conversations would be neutralization. Okay? That's it. Neutralization. That is what we are looking for. That's the goal. That's what should happen. And that's it. Okay? Is that good? Is that helpful for some of you? I think I've repeated myself so many times.